Welcome to the press conference for the Minto Cup, the hardest trophy to win in lacrosse. And before we get started, especially since we're celebrating this great Indigenous game, we'd like to begin by acknowledging the land on which we gather and which the region of Peel operates is part of the treaty lands of the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. For thousands of years, Indigenous peoples inhabited and cared for this land and continue to do so today. In particular, we acknowledge the territory of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, Ojibwa, and Chippewa peoples, the land that is home to the Métis and most recently the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, who are direct descendants of the Mississaugas of the Credit. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land and by doing so give our respect to its first inhabitants. I'd like to welcome the Mayor of Mississauga, Rob Brown. Pardon me? Patrick Brown. I'm sorry, Patrick. Come on up and have a word.
And I'd say we are Brampton, not Mississauga, but we do call Mississauga part of the greater Brampton area. I want to thank Mark Grimes for the work he's doing, putting this event on. Mark's an old friend, and we know a champion booster of lacrosse. I just want to say it's an honor for the city of Brampton to have this prestigious tournament, the hardest cup to win, as you said, in lacrosse here in the city. This is a phenomenal facility, the CA Center. We hope those competing find the amenities work for this tournament. We're very proud of this facility. I would just note there is a long tradition of passion for lacrosse in the city of Brampton dating back to 1871. And I have to add, we just had the Founders Cup in our city this past week, and the residents loved this. So talk about a month to celebrating lacrosse with the Minto Cup and the Founders Cup happening at the same time. I know there's a passion for lacrosse across the country, but you're going to find there's a real passion in our city for it and a long history. I want to note that we have Dean Mcleod, who is the head of our Hall of Fame and one of the most renowned boosters of lacrosse in our city here. Where's Dean? Dean, give us a wave. Yeah, a local lacrosse legend, and I want to thank Glenn McClellan, the president of Brampton Excelsiors, and the board of directors for their support in hosting this event as well. So best of luck to all the teams, and if there's anything we can do to accommodate the success of this tournament, know that we're only a phone call away, and the city of Brampton is proud to support this iconic and treasured event. I know there's going to be some exciting matches over the next few days, so I look forward to coming out and watching a few of them. All the best.
Thank you, Mayor Brown. I do have a good friend named Rob Brown, by the way. I'd like to thank all the media who are here today and online, and I do want to give a shout out to my good friend Joe Bowen, who will be calling the finals of this tournament. Joe, can you stand up for a sec? Joe, not only has Joe called over 3,000 Leaf games, but when the Toronto Rock was the only lacrosse team, NLL lacrosse team in Canada, it was his voice that turned on a nation to NLL lacrosse and really helped create a boom in lacrosse in 1999 in the early 2000s. So we're really happy to have Joe here, and you guys will love listening to him. I can introduce the head coaches now, and each coach is going to come up for a minute, say a few words, and then have a seat, and we'll have questions later. But we're going to start with Victoria. Terry Dennett. Do you want to come up, Terry?
Thanks, Brian. On behalf of the Victoria Shamrocks, we'd like to thank the City of Brampton, the CAA Centre, and the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League for hosting. It's been real good so far for us. Our hotel's been awesome, all that stuff, so thanks again for the hospitality. We're just really excited to be here to be able to take part in the competition for our whole organization. So good luck to all the teams, and we'll see you on the floor.
Next, we'll have from the Edmonton Miners, John Lintz.
On behalf of the Edmonton Miners and the Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League, we'd just like to say thank you for having us to the City of Brampton and the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. This is the first opportunity for the Miners Lacrosse Club to compete in the Minto in 14 years. We can't wait to get started, and thank you for having us again. Appreciate it.
And from the Toronto Beaches, Riley O'Connor.
Yeah, just want to reiterate and say thank you to the City of Brampton for hosting and having us. Want to say how proud I am of our players from the Toronto Beaches organization for getting here, and just want to thank all of our support staff and our fans for making this season and helping us get here. Good luck to the other teams competing, and looking forward to a great week.
And I know many people here already know it, but Riley won a Minto Cup with Whitby in, was it 2013? And his dad was the manager, Greg O'Connor, and he's still the manager of the opposition of Whitby. So that's his dad, Greg O'Connor, the manager of Whitby. And now to the coach of Whitby, Sean Williams.
On behalf of Whitby, thank you very much to the OJLL and to the City of Brampton for having us, and good luck to everybody.
So we're going to have a question period for the coaches. I know a few questions have been sent in online. I think, Matt, you're going to read those, and if anybody in the audience have any questions, let us know. Matt, are you you're going to read those out? Okay.
Yeah, the first one here, we'll start with Victoria. Terry, you have 7 returnees from 2019. How much of that is an advantage to having that many guys who've been through this tournament already?
Yeah, I think it is a pretty big advantage. We're pretty happy with our leadership group, which would be the guys coming back. Just like this kind of stuff, traveling, getting to the hotel, doing all that stuff, these guys are showing our younger guys how it's done. So I think it's a slight advantage. I still think it's the competition on the floor that's going to prove what's going on.
Only 3 island teams have ever hoisted this trophy. How does that drive your team representing Victoria?
We don't dwell on it. We obviously talk about it because the last time it was hosted by like the Gate brothers, that kind of era. They're pretty respected in our community of lacrosse. So we just talk about conducting our business the same way they do, right? And just being proud of the game we play.
And finally, Patrick Dodds is the only NLL runner in this tournament. What's it like having him in your locker room?
He's Patrick Dodds, right? He's an amazing kid. We've been fortunate enough to coach him for 5 years and to see where he's getting to just on his talent. But as a human being, brings great culture to our room. He was voted like most popular player by his teammates. So to me, that just says it all.
Thank you. Moving on to
Thank you.
John Lintz of Edmonton. Since 2008, it's been basically Okotoks or Calgary representing Alberta in this tournament. What is your team's significance in this tournament in terms of Alberta lacrosse, and do your players recognize their role here?
Yeah, it's been a long process for us. It's been a long process for us in terms of trying to bring pride back to Edmonton lacrosse, and we have a group of 4th and 5th years that bought into that when Richard Laughlin and I started coaching with the junior minors, and we're kind of at the point where I think our group is ready to win, so we're excited to be here and have that opportunity.
A lot of focus have been on a lot of offenses. I know when we get to Sean, we'll talk about Brock Haley, but Matthew Gauthier actually has a higher points per game playoff average than Brock Haley. Do you feel like your offense is overlooked coming into this tournament?
Possibly. I mean, we're excited about the depth of our offense and feel like we can get contributions from everyone. When you talk about Matthew Gauthier, people are going to see a player that's very opposite to some of the leaders on other teams, like a Haley or like a Dodds that was mentioned. He's kind of a grit and grinder, loose ball player. So he's definitely one to watch in this tournament.
Okay, thank you. And move on to Riley O'Connor of the Toronto Beaches. As was already mentioned, you've played in a couple of these tournaments. How can you kind of prepare your team based on your previous experience here at the Minto?
Yeah, I think they've got to. I think they've got to go through it a little bit themselves, right? And I think junior A lacrosse, especially in Ontario, is one of the highest levels, if not the highest level, outside of the NLL in the world. So I think we're pretty battle tested, especially through our playoff run thus far.
I'll pose this to you, and Sean, I'll ask you the same thing after. These two other teams coming from Alberta and BC, they've been playing pretty much right up until this tournament. You guys have had over a 2-week layoff. How is that going to affect the Beaches specifically coming in here?
Yeah, I think for us, just focusing on ourselves, just continuing to prepare, practicing throughout the weeks, doing film throughout the weeks, a lot of independent time on our own. So I think it's good to get fully healthy. We've had 3 guys away at the international championships, but just continuing to practice and prepare and put in the work so that we can put our best foot forward starting tonight.
Thank you. And Sean Williams of the Whitby Warriors, we'll start with the same question. How do you think the 2-week layoff is going to affect your team?
Yeah, it's the we good. It's definitely an unknown factor, right? But just like Riley said, we just really focused on ourselves and made sure we were getting healthy. And credit to our leadership group. Like each practice was full of energy. There was no having to get guys up for it. The boys are ready to go back to battle.
Your team was so good at home. I know you and I talked at the OLA finals. You're here at a neutral site now. What adjustments, obviously not giving too much away with the other 3 guys here, but will you have to make coming into this a neutral site away from your home building?
Yeah, I think it's just this has to become our second home, just like all these guys here. It's each team is going to have to find their way, and whether it's part of the room or you're part of your routine at the hotel, or if you're coming from home, like we will be sometime this week, and we just have to find a way to make this our second home and enjoy the ride.
Steve Buffery of the Toronto Sun has asked, I think we'll start, I guess, since we're talking to you, Sean. Do you think there's more pressure in the Ontario teams to win the tournament or on the visiting teams that are coming from the West, given that this is the host? And Riley, I'll ask you the same after.
I just think there's pressure on all of us. Everybody here has a great team, has a great coaching staff, lots of great players. I think the pressure's on everybody.
Yeah, I would just reiterate that. I think it's the Minto Cup, right? So everyone's here. It's everyone's 0-0 right now, and everyone has an equal opportunity to compete and the chance to win. So it's a pressure situation for everyone here.
Thank you. Also from Steve Buffery to the BC and Alberta coaches. Do teams from BC and Alberta find that they have to adjust their games when they play teams from another province? And are there any style differences compared to what happens at West versus here? John, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think that's a dangerous thing, trying to adjust to your opponents right off the bat. I think we have a style that we have found successful, and we're going to try to implement that as much as possible. In watching the 2 leagues back to back, Alberta tends to be a little bit more physical of a game in the middle of the floor, where Ontario tends to be a little bit more skilled. But we think that with our high-end skill, we can compete here as well.
Terry, same question. If you guys have to make any adjustments playing out of province.
I think now with all the film, we'd be kidding ourselves if we didn't know exactly what the other 3 teams are doing, and they know exactly what we're doing. So I think it's really going to come down to who's going to execute on the floor, who's going to stay healthiest, right? Who's going to be able to conduct their business properly off the floor here. I think with the NLL, too, guys are all starting to play the same type of style, so it just comes down to who's going to be better.
Terry, we'll stay for you, but for all 4 coaches, again from Steve Buffery, how excited are your specific lacrosse communities to have this championship back after such a long layoff? Terry, if you want to go first for Victoria.
We're pretty lucky. Like, the city of Victoria is a huge lacrosse city. Our senior program's massive, so all our organization works together. So there's lots of excitement there for us. Going through the finals of the BC Junior League, even in Langley, like there are tons and tons of fans. I believe we almost had more fans than the seniors did that game, which was pretty cool for our guys to experience that. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting for the guys to know, like, lots of families coming. So, very, very excited, I would say.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, and in Edmonton, we've talked a lot about getting back to the idea of minor programs, junior programs working together to kind of build a sense of community through lacrosse. And I think this, our opportunity to play in a Minto Cup is big for the community right through the levels and through the organizations that are in Edmonton.
Yeah, same question, Riley, but I'll add, is it any different being this the Beach's first time here?
No, I think we're just looking forward to the week ahead. I think the biggest thing is super excited, right? I was said off the hop that the Minto Cup is the hardest trophy to win. I truly believe that, right? Because it in the Man Cup, but you only have 5 years, 5 opportunities to win this. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we're hoping to make the most of it, and pretty excited that it's in Brampton because not too far of a travel commute for some of our fans to make the trip. So excited to share it with them.
And finally, Sean, again, the excitement to have this championship back.
Yeah, our definitely it comes from the leadership as well. They're very excited to get back to where so many alumni before them got to play, and just have that opportunity to just everybody wants a chance, and here's our chance.
So Shane, that's it from the online questions. I don't know if we have any from the room.
Question, maybe you can, Matt, they can use your mic if they have a question. So if you want to, Dean has a question. It's going to be a long one. Kidding, Dean.
Is on? It won't be long, Shani. I've got 2 questions, 2 comments to our Ontario coaches. First, I'm going to go to Riley and Greg. I was with you guys in 13 when you won the Minto Cup. I saw the beautiful picture on internet the other day with father and son. Riley, what I want to ask you is what it means as now coming and playing against your hometown team, and more important, who's Mom cheering for?
Yeah, well, Mom's going to be cheering for me, that's for sure. But Whitby's a great organization, much like the other 2 organizations here. But Whitby's near and dear to my heart. Yeah, won 2 Minto Cups there, and just the culture of success and excellence there is pretty special. But for me, I would say this Minto Cup means just a little bit more. Just having the opportunity to experience with my father and with my family. Again, my biggest role model and a guy who's helped me become the man I am today. I owe him everything. So it'll be pretty fun, that's for sure. But the job is to win a ring. So whatever it takes, and just thrilled to be here.
Willie and Riley. I don't know whether everybody knows it or not, but you guys are coaching 2 grandsons, one each, of 2 lacrosse legends, Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Famers, in Jack Bionda and Gaylord Powless. What's it mean to you to coach grandsons of legends?
I think it's pretty neat, right? Again, there's a lot of connection. Lacrosse is a small community, right? Through junior, through senior, through the NLL, right? We've got fellow NLL players here. And that's a neat thing, is that we're all kind of connected. We're all family. So pretty cool opportunity to coach David Anderson, who you can tell plays a little bit of that flair from Gaylord Powless. And it's just, it's what makes lacrosse great.
Well, it's hard to follow that. It's obviously very special. Our game has given us so many talented players, and to have the 2 iconic players and to have their lineage in our dressing room, it's an amazing feeling, and I'm super excited that Riley has this opportunity.
Reiterate, David Anderson on Toronto is the grandson of Gaylord Powless, and Willie. Which player on your team is the grandson of Jack Bionda? Pardon me?
Riley Knox.
Okay, Riley Knox. That's great. Any other questions? Okay, well, at this time we're going to invite up the captains one at a time, and as per tradition, each captain is going to take a picture with the Minto Cup. Don't touch it if you don't want to. All together? Okay, all together. So I'll call them up. From Whitby, Scott Reed, assistant captain, will be representing his team. From Edmonton, Bennett Smith, the captain. From Toronto, Matt Accioni, the captain. And from Victoria, and this is cool, Patrick Dodds, the only runner in the NLL already, scored 84 points in his rookie year in the NLL. So congrats to all you guys. And before you go, so the coaches, thank you very much. You guys can go back, and we'd like the captains to sit up here in case there's any questions for you guys. So, Dean, I'm going to put you on a spot. I'm sure you have a question for somebody here. Who's got a question? Oh, Matt's got the mic.
Shanny, the only comment I'll have is being the commissioner for a few number of years here in Ontario and being to these Minto Cups. It's great to see the 4 teams represented. I watched a number of the games on whatever it was. I don't know how to get on. My granddaughter got me on
computer
there,
thing.
But, very exciting. I want to wish each team the very, very best of luck. We're proud to have you in Brampton here, where I'm from, and best of luck. And the best team is going to win. Thank you very much.
Excellent. I'll ask a couple questions then. I'll start with Patrick. Patrick, this is your second Minto Cup. Do you come into this one any different than the first one a few years ago before COVID?
Obviously, me being back then, I was kind of just a young kid back then. I think I was like 17. I think we were kind of there, happy to be there. I think this time's a little different. We kind of have we kind of been there once. Now it's time to have a really good chance of winning it this time.
Excellent. Matt, what does it mean for the Toronto Beaches to be in their first Minto Cup, and what does it mean to you personally?
Yeah, it means a lot for me personally. My late father actually passed away 7 years ago. So he actually won 2 Minto Cups back-to-back with the Orangeville Northmen in 95, 96. So it's kind of a family thing now, and it's really important to me. But to the team and to the Beaches family, we have the best fans, and this is for them. So we wouldn't be here without them. So I'm really, really thankful.
Excellent. Scott, there's expectations are very high for Whitby. They've won a number of Minto Cups. Do you feel any extra pressure, or what do you feel coming into it, being with the Whitby organization?
I just feel like it's a good opportunity for us. A lot of us were young kids the last time Whitby won it. Most of us were probably at the games cheering on like we had this year a lot. So I just think we're all ready and excited now that it's our turn. Finally, we're the old guys who have all the young lads watching us. So we're ready to work out there.
Excellent. And Bennett, you have a veteran team, and a number of players on your team were with that first Alberta team that won the Midget Nationals. And how do you guys come into this tournament with that experience? Does that experience help you guys as you come into, especially because Alberta's never made it to the finals of this? Does that give you guys extra confidence?
I think it does. We have the chance to do something very special, and our group, like our coach said, John, our 4th and 5th years have been to finals and have won, so the experience is definitely there, and we're just very excited to be here.
Excellent. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, so we did get a few come in beforehand, if that's okay. We'll start with Patrick Dodds. Obviously, you touched on it a little bit already with Shanny, but how much have you thought about that last tournament in 2019 when you guys were in the last Minto?
We kind of all thought about that and kind of dwelled on the experience. And like Terry said, it's not so much like the playing aspect, it's showing up to the hotel, eating, getting in what you need to eat, drinking lots of water and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, having done it before, it definitely helps that some of the guys can lead our younger guys in the right direction.
Is it just the experience the only thing that's going to make this different for you guys?
No, I'd say on a whole, our group is a bit more fine-tuned than we were in 2019, but we'll have to see this week for sure.
Okay, thank you. And moving on to Matt now. Unlike Victoria, this is the first time that the Beaches are ever in the Minto. What does it mean to you and your team to be that first team that gets here?
Yeah, it's a huge honor, but we're doing this for the people that came before us and the legacy that they created, so this is for them.
Is there a chip on your shoulder, or does it mean anything different not winning the OLA championship? You're kind of here as the finalists.
Yeah, we're happy to play that underdog role and maybe catch a couple teams sleeping, but yeah, we're coming here and we expect to win, so we're confident.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to Scott, if we can. You have a couple guys that are coming back from the U21, but it has been a two-week gap off for you guys. How do you think the team's ready? I know the coaching already talked about that, but how ready do you think you guys are after that layoff?
We did have a good break, like you said, but every practice we've been to, all the energy's been there since everyone steps in the room. Right when we're in the locker room, the boys are all chatting, they're back to it like nothing ever like we never left. And once we hit the floor, it's all it's game time mentality, right? Everyone's working. We know what the goal is, and we're gonna work hard for that to earn that.
And again, without giving out too much away, because the other three guys are sitting next to you. What is it about Brock Haley that makes him so dangerous offensively?
I think we're all a good tight-knit family here. Our offense is, they're all very close. They work together really well. And so when we get guys who are setting hard picks and we get guys who are passing the ball, when they find Haley open and he's putting it in the back of the net. So I think it's just it's him putting it in the back of the net, but it's a big team effort to get him the ball first.
Jonathan, Donville called your head coach, Sean Williams, the smartest guy in the room at all times. Do you agree with that statement?
100%.
Good answer. Okay, we'll move on now, if we can, to Bennett. We talk, obviously talking about Whitby's offense. I asked your coach the same thing. What is it that we need to know about your offense? Because they're obviously pretty high-powered as well.
Well, like our coach said, we have a very deep offense, and guys like Matthew Gauthier, who I'm sure some of these guys haven't seen a player like him. Like he's very gritty, and ground balls are his game and inside, and he's nothing like a player I've seen. So very, very happy to have him on our team.
The Minto Cup has always gone to either Ontario or BC. Well, why is this minors team the one that's going to be different?
Well, like I mentioned before, like our group of fourth and fifth years have been to a national title, and we have experience. And I think we coming in with that underdog mentality and a chip on our shoulder. And like I said, it was very exciting. We have a very good chance to win, and just happy to be here too.
Okay, final question that came in previously is for all four captains. From Nick Ocello of the Post Game Podcast. Why hasn't America been invited to a Minto Cup? Is Canada scared? I don't know who wants to go first.
I think America's scared. They can't handle the tough, gritty box lacrosse.
Yeah, I guess just to reiterate, Americans don't play like Canadians, and I don't think they could just hang with us playing box.
We're not scared.
Yeah, we're definitely not scared.
Thank you, gentlemen. Anything else from the room?
Well, if that's it, then thank you very much, and good luck to all four teams. I look forward to watching the games. Thanks for coming out.